And as mentioned, our guest this morning, Dean Bradley Bielski. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Brad. Good to hear you.
Yes, you too. Thanks a lot. And here we are, day before New Year's Eve. And so I guess I want to ask you about what is the state of the campus, so to speak, as we close out on this very unusual, I'll call it unusual year of 2020.
Well, in my State of the Campus address, Brad, I guess I'll say that the state is very different but very strong. I mentioned, I think, in our last talk, our actual fall enrollment was up in total head count. It looks like we're going to be in good shape for the spring semester as well.
Good.
One of the things that we always bank on is those mid-year transfer students. So we've got some pretty generous opportunities right now. I think our transfer awards are up to $1,000, and there's still plenty of time to both apply, be accepted, and to get enrolled for the spring semester, believe it or not. So we're 19, 20 days away, whatever we are, and our processes are in place to make that happen. So we've seen a little uptick in those transfers this year, but this is usually the time, believe it or not, between New Year's and the start of classes where we start to get a lot of transfers start to roll in terms of applications. So we're working hard to make that happen. We know a number of students that went away for college this semester, to another college or university, may have had not exactly the experience they were hoping for and are deciding, maybe I'll do another semester at Tuscarawas or a semester at Tuscarawas and then reevaluate for the fall semester.
Right.
So we're here for those students. If it's a public university, all of those credits are tagged and can transfer back and forth pretty easily. And we're looking to help out in any way we can for those students. So we're looking strong for the spring semester. We're going to be much in the same mode for the spring semester as we were for the fall. So many of our classes will be remote again, but we do have a healthy number of in-person classes as well. So typically, if you are dealing with a mannequin, a piece of equipment, an animal, or something that requires hands-on training or hands-on instruction, that'll be taught face-to-face. So many of our laboratories, et cetera, will be face-to-face. If it's typically a straight lecture course where, people can receive the material remotely, that's how that will be done.
Let me ask you this. This situation is so fluid with COVID. How often, and I know it must be often, are you assessing situations and seeing where you may need to make a change or hopefully in this case change a little bit back more toward face-to-face? How often and how many people are involved in those kind of important decisions?
Yeah, so it's very fluid. I mean, I'd say at least daily, and sometimes it's midday, Brad.
Yeah.
So we have a long-range plan, and that long-range plan is consistent with the university system's long-range plan. But we are afforded flexibility within that plan as to what we believe is best for our local campuses. So we probably had a higher percentage of courses face-to-face than most of the Kent units did. Probably not exclusively, but we did a good job with that. And we had some campus activity in the fall semester. So I always tell members of my cabinet, students, faculty, here's the plan today, but recognize that can change tomorrow. And that's just the environment we find ourselves in.
Which sure is.
We make plans, we shuffle around and we adjust, and I think it's a real credit primarily to our students who've been able to adjust to this environment. So, and the faculty as well. But they're the ones that we're here to serve, and when we have to say, well, guess what, this class needs to be flipped back to a remote class, or hey, this class could be face-to-face now, they're the ones that have to really make that adjustment.
Yeah.
So kudos to them.
Yeah, they've done a great job. Well, you and I are big sports guys, so the question now is, what's the status of sports? What's happening with spring sports? What's happening with fall sports that might be moving? Can you fill us in on any of that?
Yeah, so we did not have fall sports, as we talked about a little earlier, but we did push them to the spring semester. Now, the good news is several of our teams, volleyball, women's basketball, and men's basketball, were practicing in the months of November and December. So we're ready to go, and we do have a schedule ready to start in January. games both on campus and away. Now, Brad realized, just like I said, it's been a very fluid situation
right.
because, we're in a situation where we're not only trying to make our own plans, but some of our competition is adjusting their schedules and their plans as well.
Mm-hmm.
So some teams have dropped completely their athletics. Some people have decided that they're not going to travel this year or travel out of state.
Right.
So we've had to readjust our schedules, but we have a healthy number of contests for those three sports right now, and then baseball, softball, and golf are starting up in the spring as well. So
any indoor sports allowing? I'm sorry, are you going to allow spectators for some of the indoors?
Not for the indoors. So the nice thing that we have been able to do is develop our streaming service, or our streaming media. So we have some nice equipment on campus,
mm-hmm.
and we've installed it into the gym. So fans of the athletes will be able to watch the competition. Much like we watch a lot of other things today, either through Facebook, YouTube, or some other media. So we'll be sending out those streaming links, and people can watch the Golden Eagles compete
good
against competition in the area. So, I watch right now my daughter's swim meets.
Okay.
She swims for Dover High School, and we watch those virtually. So
you just don't get to smell the chlorine that way, though.
Exactly, and you don't get the splash from the athlete.
What about our other favorite place to go, and that's the Performing Arts Center? Is a schedule able to be developed yet for that?
We're really targeting for the fall semester on that.
Okay.
Now, if we can, depending again how the vaccine rolls out, how many people become vaccinated, how many people become comfortable with coming back to indoor events, we'll push that up as we can.
Mm-hmm.
But again, similarly to when you're kind of at the mercy of the other teams when you're doing these scheduling for athletic events, you're kind of at the mercy a little bit of the entertainers and the and the agents as well, because they're trying to figure out what their schedules are and when they can start touring again. So we're expecting that we will be able to have some of our musical acts, comedy acts, and things like that in pretty quick form, because those types of performances really don't take the level of set design, rehearsals, and productions as some of the big Broadway shows.
Yeah.
So I think what you'll see is us start off as soon as we can, with some familiar names and acts from the music industry, from the comedy world, things that can get up and moving pretty quickly. The big Broadway shows will probably take a little while.
Yeah, agreed. Well, thanks. You know what? For a state of the campus address, that was pretty positive. Way to go.
Hey, we really are looking up, and I personally am looking up. I have great faith in this vaccine or vaccines that we're developing.
Mm-hmm.
Got a bit of a science background myself in chemistry, so I have great faith in the vaccines. I encourage everybody, as soon as your classification or number comes up, to go out and become vaccinated, because I firmly believe that the quicker that we get people vaccinated, the better things will be long term, and we can get back to normal life, or a new normal life that's much better than what we're experiencing now.
Some semblance of normal. That's right. Well, yeah. Thanks for coming in today, and to you and your staff and your family, a very happy New Year.
Yeah, happy New Year to you, Brad.
Thanks so much. We'll talk to you again.
Thank you. All right.
That is Dean Bradley Bielski of Kent State Tusc on Tusc Talks this morning on our 8:30 High Beam.